My name is Sam Martin, and with me is Jason Book, writer and artist for Me and Him, which is a webcomic that you can find at meandhimcomic.tumblr.com. Hey, Jason, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good, Sam. How are you?
Not too bad. We're going to be continuing our review of the Batman ongoing series from DC Comics. In this video, we're going to talk about Batman issue 49, which is written by Scott Snyder, with some help from James Tynion IV this time. And Greg Capullo took an issue off. I think he's getting ready for 50, and then he's going to be actually moving off of the Batman book. But for this issue, we got Yannick Paquet on the art duties. This is Super Heavy Part 9. So we had Bruce Wayne at the end of the last issue coming in, and he wants to go down to the Batcave. Alfred is devastated because he wants Bruce Wayne to kind of continue living as Bruce Wayne and not have all the pain and tragedy of Batman. And Bloom, Mr. Bloom, is running rampant in the city with all of his, Bloom pills that he put and was kind of enticing everybody to grab those Bloom pills and make themselves into have superpowers. So that's where we picked up with this issue. And what'd you make of this issue overall, Jason?
Oh, it's pretty cool. I'm a fan of Yannick Paquet's art from, he did the first few issues of Batman Inc. back in the day with Grant Morrison. So he's no stranger to drawing Batman. He kind of has a cool style. It's kind of like Adam Hughes, but a little more, not as girly looking. But it worked well. Kind of had those elements of, it kind of works as a standalone issue in a way where these are all kind of the different elements of different Batman characters that exist within the machine, which is basically the backup of Bruce Wayne's mind in a way. So it worked well. I mean, it was kind of exploring what could have been a much quicker scene in an older comic book, but I did enjoy it. It was cool to see someone else drawing these scenes, and really, I mean, not a lot happened between the end of that last panel from the last issue going towards the final here coming up in issue 50, but it did make for some interesting, kind of story points there, and I love the final kind of page too, where he's like, yeah, Batman is back, let's go,
Yeah. The last page was kind of excited. It definitely got me, looking forward to issue 50. You're right, we didn't really see Mr. Bloom at all, so that's just kind of on pause that's happening from issue 48. We'll pick up again in issue 50. And yeah, a lot of this kind of, psychological, sort of surreal explorations with these kind of cool creative layouts to get these different visions of possible Batmen, and showing some of the potential of this machine, I think, or the way I took it. I wasn't exactly sure, what larger point Scott Snyder was making with the different ones, but they were sort of just cool to go along for the ride.
Yeah, and it was a way for an artist to showcase doing some original Batman costume designs, I guess, too.
Yeah, the art was fun, and the designs were cool. I might have to read it again a couple more times to figure out if there were some deeper, kind of themes or story points being made, but I took it more just as kind of a surface ride that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
One thing that was very clearly, some character development and some story was the scene with Alfred, where Alfred's just really kind of devastated and trying one last time to appeal to Bruce to say please just stay at Bruce. That was a pretty intense page.
Totally. And then Julie comes back into the mix as well too, right?
Yeah, so then she comes to make this kind of final decision where to get the machine to work to actually return Bruce Wayne to Batman, they actually have to take him to the point of being brain dead, and then at that point is when the machine can kind of take hold and do what it needs to do.
Yeah.
And Julie comes in to help make that decision to actually kill him to brain dead and hopefully have faith in the machine that it will work.
Yeah.
So that she's back in there with Alfred, so these two loved ones for Bruce are right at his side.
Yeah, and it was cool because she's basically throwing away the future she could have had with him, but she knows that, Batman needs to be there, and what would Gotham be like if he wasn't? So it was cool. There's a lot of stuff going on kind of in between the lines for those characters.
Yeah, and I will say, I mean, it was the right call to have Alfred and Julie both there for that moment.
Yeah.
I do think, in the super heavy story arc, we're 9 issues in, I do feel like that the ball was dropped a little bit with Julie. They've threaded her, and they've had these moments where, there's this proposal, but then, you ignore her for quite a while.
Yeah.
And, I feel like Alfred got really well developed where this really is paying off from a character level.
Yes.
Julie, I think, was, just minimally set up, and, she was set up enough where I knew that she had to be here, and I knew what you said about how she is giving up her life with Bruce.
Yeah.
But looking at the story arc overall, she wasn't really fully brought into it like Bruce and Alfred were.
No, yeah, I agree. I honestly thought, as I predicted before, I thought maybe they were going to kill her off or do something crazy like that, where it would kind of push Bruce back towards, well, what else does he really have to go on for except for Batman, which has always been there for him since his parents have died, right? So, I guess she's a character in the DCU and they might have plans for her down the line, so I guess they had to do something different.
Yeah. So it's a little bit of a critique, but I mean, overall, this has been a good storyline. And it is interesting that we are fully back on Bruce for this issue 49, because this has also largely been a Jim Gordon story arc.
Yeah.
So somewhere around 47, 48, the Jim Gordon stuff kind of took a back seat as Bruce Wayne really had to gear up to go back to Batman. I think in 50, though, we're going to see a resolution to Bloom, Gordon, and then Batman will be back in place.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if we get kind of a Batman team up for a little bit. Snyder's alluded in interviews that it's going to be crazy, huge action sequence type issue. And apparently he only has one issue left, and that is it. Him and Capullo aren't even coming back to do any more. They figure 50 some odd issues is enough. So they've got some big shoes to fill in this book. That's for sure. It's been a great ride, right?
Right. Yeah. We'll see how Rebirth. I mean, the rumor from Bleeding Cool is that Batman is going to go to a bi-weekly.
Oh, yeah.
With Tom King writing it, I think.
Ooh, that's the guy
rumor.
that did Convergence, right? Oh.
No. That's Jeff King.
Oh, right. Okay, good.
Yeah,
good.
Tom King is like the Omega Men, and he's actually, I think, pretty good.
Okay,
that's
good.
not confirmed by DC Comics yet.
Yeah.
But I think it is confirmed that Scott Snyder is going to be writing Detective Comics.
I heard that a couple places too. Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Eh?
I was going to ask you, so after this run is done, do you follow Scott Snyder to Detective, or do you stay on the Batman title, or do you do both?
Well, I'll probably talk to you about it and see which one you want to keep up with, because really, it's been hard to top this book, and if they can do anything to keep the quality up, I'm here for a long time. With Detective, it depends what they're trying to do. Obviously, I can't see him just doing more Batman, more of the same. It's got to have something different to make him want to continue on with the character. So, but I do trust in him. He's a great writer and done a lot of great things with Batman. So I guess I'd probably try both first issues and see how they are.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah.
Because Tom King, I've been really enjoying the Omega Men that he's been writing.
Nice.
I know he's writing something else that's good too, but I haven't been reading it.
Right on.
But yeah, Scott Snyder, I think could really shine in a detective type of book where it's maybe smaller Gotham-based stories. I think Scott Snyder is such a tight, good writer that he could do great on that smaller scale.
Yeah, he said he had some cool ideas for some stories with some of the big villains like Penguin and Poison Ivy and stuff. So, I mean, I'd be down with that for sure.
All right, so we've got a few more weeks here till Batman issue 50. I'm sure that'll be a big one, and we'll have to be here to talk about it.
Yeah, totally looking forward to that.